Good morning, learners! Welcome to our English 9 class. Today, we will learn a new lesson. Are you ready? Okay, together, let's learn. Our lesson for today is about these words, bias and prejudice. I believe that you have already met these words and somehow you might already have an idea on what these two words mean, because for sure this is very common in our society. And basically, these words are our tendency to either like or dislike someone or a group of people or a point of view. But before we delve more into this topic, let me first show you pictures. Try to look at the pictures and on your mind give your interpretation. So here the first picture gives us different reporters covering the same news or stories. But as you can see or as you can read, these two reporters have different point of view regarding this certain issue. Okay, the next picture. Okay, this picture tells us or shows us a boy with disability being quite a distance with his fellow children. Looking closely to it, I know you have different interpretations, and one of that interpretations could be that this boy with disability is being neglected or not entertained by his fellow children, somehow because this boy was a disabled one and he is not normal as his other or fellow children are. First, let's have bias. Everybody read. Bias is the tendency to favor one person, group, thing, or point of view, and it is often done in an unfair way. Bias is our act of either supporting or opposing someone. Basically, bias is our tendency as humans to give favor or support someone with certain reasons in mind. Reasons include us being connected or having a close relationship with that person or a group of people. So basically, we see this bias in our community, especially when our relatives or a friend is in quarrel with someone. So what happens is we basically tend to favor that someone who is our friend over that another person. First, let's take a look at some examples of bias. The first picture shows us the media covering or featuring this certain person. So basically, we see it on our television in which, especially during election time, when some channel or TV channel always covers or features one candidate or few candidates that they support instead of having all of the candidates featured on their TV channel. The second example here shows us our tendency as humans to rely on our pre-existing information. There are times that we are so focused or we get to anchored so much or too much on our existing information or the idea that we first have in our mind, and that is our tendency to not be open to different or other ideas. We only tend to focus or give more importance and stick to what we first know about something about someone. Next, we have here prejudice. Prejudice is one's unfavorable opinion or feeling about someone that is formed in the mind without knowledge or reason. It is based on stereotypes and generalizations that we have about a person or groups of people. Prejudice is our preconceived judgment on something or someone. Prejudice is our idea that we have on common things, or it could be that our community has standards about a certain thing. An example of prejudice is like when we see a man with disability, like this man sitting on a wheelchair, having this body formation. So basically, for sure, the idea that comes to mind when we see this kind of person is that maybe he will not live long, that he is a burden to the family, that he is not capable of doing anything, that nobody except his family would accept him for who he is and for what he is, and he is a poor disabled man, and the list goes on. So another is that when we see this man or like this man having tattoos all over his body, our list of preconceived judgment would say that this person is a bad guy, that he comes from jail, or maybe he is a criminal, or he is not a good model. And our tendency when we see a stranger having this tattoo all over his body, our response would be, we will be afraid. And that is all about bias and prejudice. I hope you learned something from this video about bias and prejudice. Thank you for watching.